Thank you for joining me on this channel. If you're enjoying the content, I kindly ask for your support by liking and subscribing. Creating these videos is time-consuming, and your support means a great deal to me. During February 8, 1955, to July 3, 1976, a dark shadow loomed over Germany as a string of young girls and women vanished without a trace. In winter of 1955, amidst the tranquil scenery of Wallstedt near Elaine, a harrowing tale unfolded, forever etching the name of Irmgard Strell into the annals of history. A mere 19 years old, she was a vibrant soul, her golden locks flowing like sunlight, draped in a striking ensemble of green from head to toe. But fate had a cruel twist in store, as her journey was abruptly cut short by the hands of a merciless killer. Irmgard, a runaway from the distant confines of Niedersachsen, found herself at a crossroads when she crossed paths with a man named Kroll on a desolate road. With an alluring smile, he enticed her into a stroll through the woods, perhaps offering a fleeting moment of solace amidst her tumultuous escape. Yet, what began as a seemingly innocent encounter soon morphed into a nightmare of unimaginable proportions. As they delved deeper into the forest, Kroll's facade crumbled, revealing the darkness lurking within. Attempting to seize a moment of intimacy, he was met with Irmgard's steadfast resistance. Enraged, he unleashed a torrent of violence, plunging a knife into her neck 4 times, extinguishing the spark of hope within her young heart. What followed was a grotesque display of brutality, as he throttled and defiled her, leaving behind a scene akin to a slaughterhouse, devoid of remorse or humanity. For 5 agonizing days, Irmgard's lifeless form lay hidden amidst the snow-covered brush, a silent testament to the cruelty festering within mankind. Eventually unearthed in a desolate barn along the road to Herrenstein, her remains bore the scars of unspeakable horror, a stark reminder of the darkness lurking just beneath the surface of society. The ensuing investigation peeled back the layers of depravity, revealing a macabre truth that sent shockwaves rippling through the community. A substantial amount of sperm was discovered in the vaginal region, along with traces found on the abdomen and scattered within the pubic hair, prompting the police to consider the involvement of multiple individuals. Erika Schulter, 12 years old, was killed in 1956 in Kirchhellen. She was strangled and raped. At his trial, Kroll would not be charged with this murder due to lack of evidence. Clara Frieda Tesmer, 24, murdered in the meadows of the Rhine, near Rheinhausen on June 16, 1959. A mechanic, Heinrich Odd, was arrested for the crime. He hanged himself in jail. 17 years later, Kroll said he would remember that he took her by the arm, but she reacted badly, so he hit her against the head. They both rolled down the side of the road as he tried to undress her. In the fight, he strangled her. Her naked body was found the next day by 5 boys driving their bicycles for a day out. On July 26, 1959, Manuela Note, 16, raped and strangled in the city park of Essen. Slices of flesh were carved from her buttocks and thighs. Petra Gysi, 13, raped and strangled in Dinslaken-Bruckhausen on April 23, 1962. She was strangled with her scarf, raped and partially cut up. Kroll ripped the red dress from her body and then removed both buttocks as well as the left forearm and hand. Her body was found the next day amongst some bushes. Barbara Bruder, 12, abducted on September 3, 1962 in Berchied. She was on the way to a playground in Lutzenkirchen, but never arrived there. Probably she took a shortcut through the wood in Gross Hamburg, where Kroll was waiting for her. Her body has never been found. At his trial, Kroll has not been charged with this murder, although he confessed to it. On August 22, 1965, Hermann Schmitz, 25, and his girlfriend Marion Veen were attacked as they sat in a car in a lover's lane in Duisburg-Grossenbaum. Hermann, Kroll's only male victim, was killed, but Veen escaped. Kroll punched a knife through a tire of the car, whereupon Schmitz got out to see what happened. Kroll stabbed him in the chest, turning to the girl. The girl watched in despair her boyfriend collapse and jumped in the driver's seat, disregarding the flat tire, hooted the horn like frantic and drove straight off onto Kroll, who barely managed to turn his heels and make his escape. While Schmitz bled to death in the arms of his girlfriend, the area was swarmed with alarmed drivers, but no trace of the mysterious attacker was found. Ursula Rolling, 20 years old, was killed on Tuesday, September 13, 1966, around 7:00 p.m. in Forsterbusch Park in Marl. Kroll confessed that I saw this woman in the park. She was young, with short hair. I spoke to her and then grabbed her around the neck with my right arm. I dragged her into the bushes and threw her on the ground. I choked her until she stopped moving. Then I took off her pants and her other things and I did it to her. I left her lying there and took the train back to Duisburg. When I got home I was still hot, and I had it with the doll, and did it with my hand a couple of times. 5 years old Alona Hark was strangled, raped and drowned on December 22, 1966. Kroll abducted her in Essen, took her on a city train to Wuppertal, there boarded a bus and got off somewhere in a wooded area where he continued for about 500 m down through dense bushes to the ditch named Feldbach. There he wanted to see how someone drowned. Gabrielle Puetman was attacked on Thursday, June 22, 1967 on the way between Grafenwald and Grafenhausen, north of Bottrop. Kroll was living in Grafenwald at the time. Kroll lured the 10-year-old Gabrielle into a meadow and showed her pornographic pictures. The girl was horrified and tried to run. Kroll started to choke her, but suddenly there were sirens howling all around. The nearby coal mine had change of shift, and the area was swarmed with miners returning home. Kroll managed to make way without anyone seeing him and didn't realize the girl was still alive. Puetman's parents never reported the incident to the police, until 9 years later, after the arrest of Kroll. Maria Hetgen, 61, raped and strangled at Huxwagen on July 12, 1969. Kroll went on a little trip from Duisburg to Essen by train, then took a bus to Werden for a stroll on the banks of the Baldeny Lake. There he encountered Hetgen, and got a tickling feeling all over. He started talking to her but she declined. He hit her, they fell into some bushes where he raped and throttled her. She was found the next day. Jutta Rahn, aged 13, met her tragic end on May 21, 1970, in a wooded area between Essener Strasse and the Hosel railway station. She was strangled to death. It's speculated that Kroll noticed her while they were both on the train. He disembarked and followed her through the woods, possibly taking a shortcut towards her home. Karen Topfer, 10 years old, was killed on May 8, 1976 in Dinslaken Voord, while she was on the way to school. She was strangled and raped. Marion Ketter, just 4 years old, tragically lost her life on Monday, July 3, 1976, in Jockel's apartment at Friesenstrasse 11, in the Lahr district of Duisburg. Her remains were discovered in a horrifying scene, her intestines obstructing the drain, her hand boiling in a pot alongside carrots and potatoes on the stove, while other parts were stored in the freezer for later consumption. It was a harrowing discovery that shook the community to its core.